Some of them you can't test for, and once the CBA regulates that, there's going to be a new drug. It's just a vicious cycle, and it's not like you can't do anything about it, because you have to. But the NFL, I like the steps they're taking, and hopefully that'll lead to a better league, and we can clean this entire league up. This is towards the end of our punishment talk, but Jameis Winston got in trouble at.
I want to say something about Jameis Winston.
Oh, okay, you go ahead.
I saw this on Bleacher Report. I was just checking it out. So supposedly Jameis actually dressed for the game today.
Yeah, I saw that on.
I don't know. I just saw this. So supposedly he dressed for the game, and Jimbo, big old Jimmy, not very happy about it. Sent him to the locker room. So Jameis, and I heard his apology conference today, if you want to say that, his statement.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't do that. Florida State's not just me, like my whole team. He said in pretty poor English, to be honest, but I got the gist of it.
He has been known for that.
Yeah, so you could tell he doesn't like to take classes, or I don't know what's going on there. But basically, he dressed, and Jimbo was not happy. Sent him to the locker room. I'm not sure if he came back, though. Do you know if he came onto the field?
I am not sure about that. We'll check up on that.
So,
but for those of you,
say that. So go ahead.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know about Jameis Winston, aside from his rape allegations, aside from his theft of crab legs, this week he was caught standing on a table. It was some kind of a student organization meeting. He jumped up on a table and started yelling obscenities. So originally he was suspended for the first half of this game, got the Johnny Manziel punishment. But then Jimbo Fisher got heat for that.
Wanted to be aggressive, so let's suspend him the whole game.
Yeah, so he suspended him the whole game against number 22 Clemson. Is that? I don't know if that game actually started, but it should be going on right about.
I think it started.
Yeah, it should be starting soon. So we'll keep you posted on that. So Snowball, I'll start with you. Is it the right move? Suspending him one game, too short, too long, just right?
I think it should be. It probably should be 2 or 3. Not because of how bad this was, but because he's done this now like 3 times, as we've said. Now you guy had a rape scandal. Stole some crab legs, which was just stupid. And he's just, doesn't seem to learn from his mistakes. Similar to Johnny Manziel, he thinks he's better than the law of college football, of Florida State, and his mistakes hurt him. And I mean, he's lucky it's only a game. It probably should be 2 or 3. I only spent him the game because they do not want to hurt their chances at making the playoffs. Because we all know one loss could easily get you out in college football. So,
yeah,
I think it's too little. Even the half a game, I mean, that was pathetic. Full game, all right, I'll take it. And it's a full game against a ranked team. So I'll take it for now, but I think it should definitely be 2 or 3.
And you mentioned Johnny Manziel. I should point out that Johnny Manziel,
his crimes. I mean, when he went for autographs and supposedly sold them, that's nothing compared to what Jameis has done. So.
Yeah. Johnny Manziel hasn't really committed...
Much worse, I think, than Johnny Manziel. Even with the partying, I think Jameis has done a lot worse.
Johnny Manziel never committed actual crimes. He allegedly sold autographs, and that's against NCAA legislation, which most people don't agree with in the first place. He got drunk a couple times, but what college kid doesn't, honestly? So that's where you can use the excuse, he's only 20 years old. With Jameis Winston, you can't use that excuse anymore, because he's already gotten in trouble several times. I mean, the rape case, he was found innocent. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. But he was acquitted. The crab legs, that's just something, like, how stupid can you be? Now, I watched his interview with ESPN this morning, and he doesn't get it. I don't think he realizes that if you were like the backup receiver, you could probably get away with a lot of this stuff. But you're Jameis Winston. You're the Heisman Trophy winner. Paul Feinbaum was on this morning saying it's a disgrace to the Heisman Trophy. It's a disgrace to Florida State. Jameis Winston needs to get it through his head that he's on such a platform that he doesn't have room for error. And, you know, the rape case came out and people, you know, let that slide. Then the crab legs. That was more of a joke. Now this comes out. If this happened before any of that, it wouldn't have been a big deal. It's not a big deal. But when you take everything together, that's when it's a huge problem. And I agree with you. I don't think it shouldn't have been just one game. I think taking everything that Jameis Winston has done, it should have been, like you said, 2 or 3. So CB, where do you think Jameis Winston will go in the draft now?
Well, Mel Kiper Jr. dropped him from 3rd to 25th in his big boards. Now, the main reason is because you've talked about it. There's so many off-the-field issues, and now that's his 6th one, including the rape scandal, which we don't know if that was actually handled properly or not.
Yeah.
Crab legs, where he theft and has basically lost his baseball season for that. The fact that he's just been such an off-the-field problem really is going to deter NFL teams away from him. He's very talented, obviously, but for him to come out at the end of this year would be a big mistake. He has to prove that he can mature and be a good person off the field. Now, obviously, you're not going to change everyone's mind in the NFL. Some of the teams have already said that they're probably not going to draft him. So it's obviously been a big hurt for him, his off-the-field issues. And I believe that he's still talented enough to go in the first round, but again, all these issues are starting to add up. With the NFL dealing with all these off-the-field issues now, and all these players being big distractions and then getting suspended and put on lists where they're going to miss the entire season, basically, it really hurts his chances in the NFL because they're seeing how the NFL is starting to treat with this. Well, the new policy may not be out now. They're going to be wary of players who are going to have character issues more so now because the penalties are going to start to get more strict. And they could leave players out for an entire year. You don't want to lose a quarterback of all positions for an entire year because of something stupid. And teams are just going to look at Winston's off-the-field issues as a liability. Because when you're at your 5th and 6th issues off the field, it's bound to happen again. And he shows no signs of really turning himself around, as he said. So I think it's really going to hurt his draft stock. Again, he's still very talented, so he'll probably go in the late first round to a team that probably already has a veteran quarterback, and will probably coach him up or something like that, and he'll become a stud in the future. But I think teams looking for a franchise quarterback are going to be wary of his leadership skills and because of the amount of off-the-field issues he's had.
Yeah, a lack of maturity can be a huge difference in the NFL. We saw that Brady Quinn, when he was coming out of college, there were big questions about his maturity. Look how he panned out. Ryan Leaf had all kinds of problems. Now that he's out of the league and was a bust, he broke into houses. He's had mental problems. It's huge. And I think the well-run organizations in the league, provided most of them have quarterbacks, but like the Giants, the Packers, the Patriots, the Steelers, they wouldn't even think of drafting Jameis Winston. Now, I still think he'll go, if not the first round, the second or third round, just because he's too good. So I think he'll end up in a place, in a poorly run organization. The Redskins don't need another quarterback, but an organization like the Redskins, like the Jets, like the Browns or the Jaguars, just because they don't really care about your maturity. They want talent and they're desperate for talent. But definitely a huge step back for Jameis Winston. If he had a shot at the Heisman this year, I think this is going to be a difference, and he's not going to win it. That was a huge question last year.
the Heisman's supposed to include character as part of the merit for the voting.
Exactly.
So, I mean, whether last year I guess he was acquitted. Again, whether that was right or not is up for debate. But the fact that he was acquitted and was so good on the field helped him. Now the fact that he's going to lose a whole game off his stats. There's been some really good players this year, such as Todd Gurley and Marcus Mariota. I see him as having a very slim chance of winning the Heisman this year.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna move on to some happier stuff. The baseball regular season is coming to an end. Now I think we all agreed on the A's as our pick after the trade deadline as our pick for the World Series. They have been sliding as of late. Now, I'm sticking with the A's. CB, I'll start with you. Are you still confident that the A's can win the World Series?
I'm starting to question that pick. I'm going to stick with it for now. I would like to see what they can do in these next 7-8 games to end the season. I think they're still the most talented team. If that pitching staff can start to turn it around, Sonny Gray last year in the playoffs was phenomenal. John Lester for the Red Sox last year in the playoffs was phenomenal. If Samardzija can start showing anything, Scott Kazmir's been very good. If that pitching staff starts to pitch, there's not going to be a team that's going to be able to beat them, even if they're struggling with the runs. I'm gonna be. It's gonna take until at least the playoffs, before the playoffs start, for me to change my pick. I like the Dodgers because Clayton Kershaw's a win every single time he touches a baseball. The Angels are playing well. Baltimore's playing well. But for now, I'm still going to stick with Oakland, even though they've slid a real lot recently.
All right. Snowball, are you sticking with the A's?
I honestly can't tell you. I've lost. If you asked me when we did this pick, like, are the A's going to win the World Series? I would have said 100% yes, no doubt. No one's going to stop them. Maybe the Dodgers, that's it. But what's happened over this month is they've fallen apart, and now are fighting for the second wild card spot. They were clearly winning the division. We were like, oh, the Angels they're having a great year. It's just a shame that the A's are having an amazing year. Now it's turned into the Angels have won the AL West. It blows my mind. It's made me. I really want to say A's go all the way because they, once the postseason starts, we got a clean slate. Teams could do anything. Pitching, as I said, pitching is huge in the postseason. We all know that. And with the A's pitching staff, it's an amazing pitching staff that I think can do well in the postseason. Sonny Gray, Scott Kazmir, Jeff Samardzija. They're all great pitchers. We don't know what's going to happen in the postseason, but they all guys who can perform well in the postseason, I think. So yes, I'm still going to stay with the A's here, but it's on the fence. But I'm staying with the A's.
So other than the A's, who is the most dangerous?
Dodgers. That's not even a question. I think Dodgers easily. Kershaw, best pitcher in the majors, is going to win the NL MVP this year. Dodgers, best team, and a good hitting team, too, besides pitching. They have some pretty good pitchers besides Kershaw. Kershaw's the best, but they got a good hitting, too. Dodgers are the team. They're the team to beat. They're probably the team to beat right now.
See, as much as I want to talk about my Pittsburgh Pirates, I just don't think this is the year.
They're doing pretty well. They've won. I think they're 11-2 now in the last 13.
No, they're doing well as of late. I just don't think by the time you get into the postseason, they're going to run out of juice.
Okay.
The Dodgers, like you said, the Dodgers are the most dangerous team in the NL. I think they'll run the table, probably end up facing the A's, and that'll be a good series. I don't usually watch the World Series. I know a lot of people don't, even though it's America's sport and Bud Selig. This is America's pastime, but a lot of people don't even watch the World Series. But I'd be interested in seeing that. Now, as the baseball season comes to an end, so does Derek Jeter's career. Now, I know you guys are both Mets fans, but you have to appreciate a guy like Derek Jeter, right?
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Now, obviously the guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. He is probably, I don't see anyone else, but for a long time has been the face of the MLB. I don't even know